So, have you ever felt like you're kind of caught in a financial holding pattern?
You mean like you're working hard, right? Saving what you can.
Exactly. Trying to make smart choices. But it just feels like you're running in place.
Yeah. And, you're not making obviously bad decisions, not like blowing all your cash on useless stuff.
Right. But that feeling of real financial progress, actually breaking free, it just feels out of reach sometimes. That was definitely me not too long ago. And it's a really common feeling, it turns out.
It really is.
And then I sort of stumbled onto this approach that honestly, it reframed my whole relationship with money. And it wasn't some, hidden market secret or a fancy new trading thing. Nothing like that. In fact, it was so simple. So I guess unglamorous. I almost just ignored it.
Right. Almost dismissed it.
Yeah. And that would have been a huge mistake because this quiet little shift, well, over time, it started changing pretty much everything.
And that's really insightful, isn't it? How that feeling of being stuck often comes from what we think wealth building should look like.
What do you mean?
Well, that it needs to be complicated or really intense, or you need to be constantly, doing something, actively managing it all the time.
Okay. Yeah. I see that.
So our deep dive today, what we want to do is kind of strip away those assumptions. We want to uncover this maybe counterintuitive idea.
What should?
The incredible power of consistency over intensity.
Consistency over intensity.
Yeah. We're going to explore how this, frankly, kind of boring truth, once you really embrace it, how it can unlock what we sometimes call quiet wealth.
Quiet wealth. I like that.
And ultimately, genuine financial freedom.
Okay, let's unpack this then. This core strategy, this boring truth. It's actually incredibly straightforward. It's basically automatic monthly investing into a low-cost index fund. That's pretty much it.
That's the core of it. A set amount just automatically leaves your bank account every month.
Yep. You don't even really think about it. And it just gets invested into a fund that tracks, a broad market index, something like the S&P 500.
Exactly. And the key is you're not trying to time the market, right?
No obsessing over the daily news headlines or anything.
You just keep going, month after month after month.
Just keep swimming, financially speaking.
Pretty much. And, for listeners who already get market basics, the real beauty of something like a low-cost S&P 500 fund isn't just the simplicity.
It's a diversification too, right?
Exactly. It's broad diversification baked right in. It totally removes that impossible task of trying to pick the winning stocks.
Yeah, good luck with that long term.
Right. And it lets you capture the market's general long-term growth without paying hefty active management fees. Plus, you avoid the stress of individual company risks.
Okay, but what about the mindset? You mentioned that shifts.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's really striking is the immediate impact this, again, boring approach has on your mindset.
How so?
Well, in those early days, like you said, nothing dramatic happens. No fireworks, no huge jumps in your account balance.
Right. It feels like nothing's happening at first.
But what does shift is your emotional connection to your money. You actually stop stressing so much. You stop obsessively checking prices.
Ah, okay. I could see that.
And that really brings up a crucial question, doesn't it? How much mental energy do we usually pour into chasing the next hot tip?
Or just reacting to every little market swing.
Exactly. Making those reactive decisions, this simple automated system, it just gives you this profound peace. It eliminates that constant need to react.
It really does free up so much mental space. I mean, seriously, think about how much of our lives we spend just reacting to financial news.
Or chasing the next big thing someone's talking about.
Yeah, this strategy feels almost, countercultural because it's so simple.
It absolutely is. It's not headline grabbing. It's not going to make for viral social media posts.
Definitely not. But it works.
It works. And it works because it's boring, because it's simple, and because over time, something really profound happens.
Compound growth.
Compound growth starts to kick in. Yeah.
And that magic of compounding, it isn't some complex metaphor, is it?
No, not at all. It's just the simple, undeniable power of earning returns on your returns.
It's that classic snowball effect.
Exactly, where each year, your initial investment plus the profits it's already made, they start working even harder for you. It grows exponentially over time.
That snowball effect, when it's fueled by that consistency you mentioned.
It's immense. It really is. Think about it. The first year, maybe you only managed to put away, say, $3,000 total.
Right. Doesn't sound like much, not life-changing.
Not by itself, no. But
Yeah.
by just sticking with it, maybe you double your contributions in year 2.
Okay.
Then you get a small raise, you bump it up again, you build this like ironclad habit.
Oh, the habit is key.
Totally. By the 3rd year, you could easily be investing more each month than you used to save in an entire year, and you barely even feel it.
Because it became automatic.
Exactly. And for most of us, that consistent action, that's the real challenge, isn't it?
It is. Our brains want that instant reward.
They're wired for immediate gratification, not for the slow, quiet hum of compound growth working in the background.
So this quiet, steady, automatic investing, it builds wealth sort of behind the scenes.
While you're living your life, it's slowly, steadily buying back your future time.
Exactly. And maybe, someone listening is thinking, okay, sounds good, but I don't have a lot of extra money just lying around to invest every month.
That's a really common and totally valid concern.
Absolutely. But here's the honest truth, I think. You don't actually need a lot to start.
No, you really don't.
Even if it's just, say, $20 a month or $50 or $100. The important thing is just to begin.
Get the process started.
Yeah. When I first started doing this, it was only about $75 a month. I just cut back on a couple of subscriptions I wasn't really using.
And you probably didn't miss them much.
Honestly. Didn't miss them at all. You don't miss that small amount that much, but over time, wow, it really starts to add up. And then every time there's a raise or maybe a small bonus, you just bump up that automatic contribution a little bit more.
Slow, steady, boring.
Profoundly effective.
And that brings us to something really crucial about motivation, I think.
Okay.
There's something incredibly powerful about watching your future self benefit from the small sacrifices you make today. It's tangible.
Yeah, that makes sense. Most of the things we spend on impulsively.
They don't really add long-term value, do they?
Okay.
A coffee here, a gadget there.
Right. But when you invest like this, you're not just, shuffling money around.
No. You're actively buying a piece of your future freedom. You're securing future choices for yourself.
Future choices. I like framing it that way.
And what's truly transformative here, I believe, is the profound identity shift that starts to happen.
Okay, tell me more about this identity shift. What does this actually mean for you, the listener?
Well, when you start investing regularly, even just a little bit,
Yeah.
you stop thinking primarily like a consumer. And you genuinely start thinking like an owner.
Consumer versus owner. That's a big difference.
It's huge. You go from just reacting to whatever financial life throws at you.
To leading it.
To leading it, exactly. Yeah. That shift is just, it's everything.
I remember actually one day I was walking past a store. There was a huge sale on.
The usual temptation.
Totally. And normally I definitely would have gone in, browsed around, probably bought something I didn't really need.
We've all been there.
But that day, the question that just popped into my head was, okay, would I rather buy this thing right now, this fleeting item, or would I rather own another small piece of the entire economy forever?
Wow. That's a powerful reframe.
It was. It's like a complete rewiring of your perspective on spending versus owning. So just to recap this core strategy again, it's simple. Automatic, monthly investing.
Into a low-cost index fund.
Right. Its power, its real strength, lies in that simplicity and how boring it feels day to day.
Which is what allows compound growth to really get going over time.
Yeah. Remember we talked about that initial phase where it feels like nothing much is happening?
The quiet beginning.
That's just the runway. That's before the long-term magic of compounding really takes hold and starts accelerating.
And let's really reinforce that critical identity shift we just discussed.
Yeah, the owner mindset.
Moving from thinking purely like a consumer to thinking like an owner. Transitioning from just reacting to your financial life.
To actively leading it. Making conscious choices.
Yes. Just think about the profound difference in choosing, as you put it, to own a piece of the entire economy forever.
Instead of just grabbing that impulsive purchase today.
Exactly. It highlights this fundamental change in perspective. And that's what sets you on the path to, lasting wealth and real agency over your future.
Now look, this strategy, it definitely won't change your life overnight. Let's be clear about that.
Absolutely not. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
But, yeah, give it a few years. Give it that diligent, boring consistency we talked about.
Yeah.
It just might change everything for you. It really might.
And that prompts, I think, an important final thought for you to consider.
Okay.
How can consistently making these small, maybe even seemingly insignificant financial decisions today How can that fundamentally buy back your time in the future?
Build options.
Build options for yourself, absolutely, and cultivate this deep, lasting sense of confidence that, frankly, no one can take away from you.
Because you built it yourself, slowly.
Precisely. Investing, when you boil it down, it isn't just about accumulating money, it's really about systematically buying your future choices.